Good afternoon, everybody. Big Mike back here with you once again. Welcome back to Big Mike Talks, where today I'm going to be talking about the week that was in pro wrestling. So that's going to be, for today, NWA Power and AEW Dynamite. A very title change heavy few episodes. I'll get to that in a second. But, yeah, pretty entertaining week of wrestling. No battle royals this week, sadly, but that's probably coming. So we start off with NWA Power. And we start off with the NWA TV title on the line, as Carnage from BFT takes on Brian Idol. And this was a surprisingly competitive match, although Idol did get his butt kicked a lot during this matchup. But after a combination super kick, whiffs on the swanton, Carnage hits a spear for 2, goes for a power slam, that gets blocked. Idol tries to lock in the Idolized, which is a interesting name for a finisher. But Carnage breaks out. Whiffs on a splash, Idol with a roll-up, and the retention. And not only that, now he has enough defenses to cash in the TV title and go after the world title, which I could potentially see happening next week because of a world title match. So, entertaining, big guy versus little guy matchup, with David prevailing, which, a little expected, but I will take it. And we go backstage for a TVMA promo. So that's Valentino Rossi, Tiffany Nieves, Gertrude, and Miss Star. And that is a lot of people. With Tiffany stating, to be a part of the 1%, you gotta be the best at everything. Hex, you're nothing but old news. And all we're saying is out with the old and with the new. We'll be rocking out 2-time tag team champions. So I guess we're getting a rematch from Samhain, which totally fine by me. But then we go to a preloaded Tom Latimer promo. Pretty much saying, Silas, he's the best. He beat me for the world title. But you have no respect to demand someone bend over and kiss your feet. Well, now you're going to have a bit of medicine, because it's going to be you versus me for the world title next week. And the best clearly will walk out champion. So nice kind of short and sweet promo from Tom Latimer, stating his goal, which now with Idol in play, I think that might change again. So next up, we got the NWA Women's Tag Team titles on the line, as you got the Hex. So that's Marty Bell and Allison Kay taking on TVMA, the current champions. So that's Tiffany Nieves and Valentino Rossi. So this match starts out pretty normally. Very good back and forth between the two. Rossi tags in. She pretty much gets beat the heck up. And then after a weird suplex, which I think was a little off kilter, Valentina crawls to the corner. Tiffany has her arm extended, but then she doesn't accept the tag. She's still in the corner, but she doesn't accept the tag. So then the Hex get in, hits Hex marks the spot for your winners and the new Women's Tag Team Champions, the Hex. So we got our first title change of this week. So hopefully we'll see what happens in the next couple of weeks. Then we got Tiffany Nieves getting back in the ring, getting in the face of Valentina Rossi. I don't want to say brawl for a bit, but they definitely push each other at least. This brings in the gargantuan Greta, in which Rossi backs right into her. And then Greta hits a big old chokeslam on Rossi. So, it looks like Rossi and Nieves are done as a tag team. I don't know if Nieves and Greta are going for the tag titles, or if Tiffany is focusing on, for now, the TV title, but eventually getting into the women's title. Either way, I'd be good with either. So next up, we are backstage for an Alex Misery promo, and he's surrounded by his boys Lev and Gags the Gimp, which, honestly, NWA, that dude needs a name change. I'm sorry. I like Gags. He's a good competitor. He needs a gimmick change. So, basically, Misery says, no matter who wins tonight, the wins from the Lost, the list keeps on building. Carson, you can't beat me, but I'm not going tonight for the win. I'm just here to get my hands on you. So, then we cut to the response from Aaron Stevens, not just Carson Drake, but Lockjaw Drake, who has a knee brace on. First time I noticed that. So, Carson pretty much says, I want to invite everyone to listen. Actually, this is Stevens. At Samhain, I was accosted by the Lost. But now I don't get mad, I get bad. Payback is coming. And payback is nothing more than this guy's mom. Which is a funny line. Alec, and this is Carson Drake now. I'm gonna put you out of your misery. Which is absolutely great line. So then we go to this next matchup, as it's a no limits match, which, honestly, that's no DQ. So we got Alex Misery of the Lost taking on Carson Drake. And this was a really weird matchup. Like, they were definitely going through it, but it felt kind of short. Especially with Carson Drake using his sweater to wrap it around Misery's neck. Not even really going for a real submission, just trying to kill him. Unalive him. So Misery fades, and Drake picks up the win. And then post-match, Aaron Stevens gets in the ring and just starts stomping on Misery. This match felt kind of flat. Like, it kind of felt like it was kind of stuck in first gear and never really took off. Not saying it was a bad match, but it was a little disappointing. And I hope in the future we get a redo of this match and they do it better. So next up, we got a little rah-rah promo from Natalia Markova saying, I've worked hard for this title, and what makes a great champion? The quality of my opponent. This is my spotlight, and I'm going to enjoy every second of it. So, again, nice little short and sweet promo from the women's champion. Then we go to a promo from the Pope, a.k.a. D'Angelo De Niro, a.k.a. Elijah Burke, if you remember him. Where he says, some things never change, but right now there's a change in the atmosphere. Pope is looking out for Pope. But I gotta look out for Pope's brother Mims as well. My status, when I beat you again, Mims, my status will be legendary. So, I guess this is like a if I can't have you, no one can type of situation. Like, I don't know where they're really going with this feud between Pope and Mims. But I do hope it does get explained a little bit better. So next up, we got the NWA Women's title on the line as Giselle Shaw, making her NWA debut, takes on Natalia Markova. And I'm going to say this, I'm going to shout it loud and proud. I have missed seeing Giselle Shaw on my TV. When I got back into Impact, she was a big part of it. And she's extremely talented, and watching her grow as a competitor was awesome. And now she's in a really interesting place that I feel like could be an advantage to her. And this match cooked. Like, there is not a lot I can say about this match. If you got like a couple minutes, go seek it out. It is definitely on my recommended list. I'm going to have something on a must watch that I hope y'all get to see. Anyway, they go back and forth a little bit. Then after a super kick and a top rope drop kick, your winner is Natalia Markova. And then after the match, Markova checks on Shaw. Natalia helps Shaw to her feet. They shake hands and embrace. So, nice little sportsmanship from Markova and Shaw. I would not mind seeing this matchup again somewhere down the line. Because honestly, they absolutely cooked. I think this is the best women's match of the week. I'm going to say that wholeheartedly. Anyway, then we go backstage for a pre-recorded Alex Taylor promo, where he's saying, I had some bad days going forward, but it's just a setback on my comeback. Next week, Fenrir, we found out how hot I still am. So, very clear motivation for Alex Taylor. I don't know if he's still with the Southern Six, or if the Southern Six are still a thing right now, but yeah, this is going to be interesting. So next we go to a place we haven't been to in a while, at least a couple weeks, in BitCrush, which is, it looks like it's a gaming store, but maybe it's for Bitcoin. I don't really know how that would work. So we have the usual cashier person, and standing in front of him is Damian Fenrir. Sorry. So the cashier tells him, I see a lot of potential in you, man. Potential beyond your wildest dreams. You could be world champion. But first, you gotta get by Taylor. The same Taylor that beat you. I think I can help you. You're going to be champion. And I'm going to help you. So, not really a clear definition of what's going on here. It does look like at least BitCrush is going to help him. Maybe this is going to be a Damian Fenrir gimmick change or something. Either way, I got my eyes on that match next week. Then we go to an in-ring interview with the Country Gentlemen, which, I'm going to say this, I love these guys. So we got Joe Kazana leading the way, saying, Kyle, who is the interviewer, you stir the pot more than a witch on Halloween, which is a great line. I'm gonna use that as like something else going forward. Call me an old man if you want. Anyway, he continues, I respect Billy Corgan coming back. The man has done it all and made an impact of the NWA felt around the world. I have nothing but respect for him, but I've been advised by my attorney not to discuss my suit. The Country Gentlemen are former U.S. Tag Team Champions, the future U.S. Tag Team Champions. The Country Gentlemen are going to be taking out the Slime Balls tonight and regaining our titles. So I thought that would be the start for the main event. Instead, we go to a commercial break, and then we come back to a Thrillbilly Silas Mason promo. He's still in like that side hallway thing. That's interesting looking. He says, Tom, how many times have you told your kid to stop touching the stove when he burns himself? The same people who can't get it out of their own way. You squandered every bit of potential you had. You are nothing but a sad SOB, and your time as champion, you did nothing but hold everyone else down. How many times did I teach you this? This rake you stepped on is a landmine, which is a great line, and I'll blow you to kingdom come. Blow you up to kingdom come. Tom, you ain't stepping in there with the title. You are stepping in there with the greatest man who ever lived. So, yeah, that's going to be an interesting little matchup. I would not be surprised to see Idol cash in. So next we cut to a Slade Mike Mondo promo saying, We have been dominating NWA since we teamed up with Stevens. We are top tier, next level. We are damn machines. And next week, Wrecking Ball and I forget the other name he said, you're going to find out firsthand what time it is. So, clear goal. We'll see what happens in that match next week. But first, we got our main event for NWA Power for the United States Tag Team titles as the Slime Balls. That's Chance and Sage Chance and Tommy Rant taking on the Country Gentlemen. So that's Casey and AJ Kazana. And this was a fun little match. It was definitely a bit more back and forth than I thought it'd be. But here's something interesting that happened. As we had Tyler Franks come out, sit at the top of the ramp, and he's just staring daggers into Joe Kazana. One point, Country Gentlemen go for a doomsday device that gets countered out. Casey with a big old eye rake. And at that point, we see Franks and Joe Kazana on the outside arguing. AJ goes for a powerbomb that gets blocked. And with a roll-up victory, your winners and still United States Tag Team Champions, the Slime Balls. While nothing spectacularly special, this was definitely an entertaining match. And I feel like we've got enough heat, I'll say, to run it back at a future show. Maybe not at the next, big special, but maybe a little after that. Then we get a card rundown for next week. And then we get a super well done hype video for Thrillbilly Silas Mason versus Tom Latimer. That was so good. Anyway, like I said, NWA Power this week was ultimately fine. Definitely some entertaining bits, some really good wrestling. And yeah, we're going to see what happens going forward. Definitely a lot to look forward to with the NWA. And that leads us to AEW Dynamite, which we start off with a Kenny Omega Swerve Strickland face-to-face, with Swerve starting us off saying, I have something to get off my chest. Omega, 5 years ago, you were the World Heavyweight Champion. You were referred to as the God of Pro Wrestling. And here I am, just starting out in AEW, scratching and clawing to be on top. And when I got to the top, where was the cleaner? I see you pop up here and there. But when I'm on top, you're nowhere to be found. That sounds like a false prophet. So the people started looking for a new prophet. In whose house? Swerve's house. Love that chant. Anyway, so now we get a Kenny. Swerve continues. Now Kenny wants back on top. But with us, it sounds like you're using your EVP powers to get there. I don't care if you're a god or not. You use your powers to get in front of me. I'll take you out. So Kenny responds saying, never once have I called myself the god of wrestling. The people here did. The people came out. People know when I come out, they're getting the best of me. They take their beliefs and turn it into power. I will earn my spot for the next World Heavyweight title shot. It may be your house, Swerve, but no one's home. Oh, do you need someone to burn down the house? I got a friend who has history with that. Referring to Hangman Adam Page burning down Swerve Strickland's home over the summer, which was that last summer? I think that was last summer. Jesus. Time flies. Anyway. So Kenny continues, if not for you, I'd have the title shot right now. And I know you want to prove yourself. I'm not asking for a match, I'm asking for a fight. I've seen the looks you've given me the past couple of weeks. This ends now. If you want the match, let's do it. So, Kenny continues, I'm going to make it simple. Accept or leave. So, Swerve responds, you're nervous because this generation is beyond you. The most dangerous man... then Kenny interrupts, says, most dangerous man isn't you, it's Brody King. Getting a big old cheer from the crowd. Kenny continues, you want to do this with me? No, this is Swerve, actually. You want to do this with me? Fine, I'll put you in the hospital bed with no way for you to recover. And then at that point, Swerve slaps Kenny Omega. And then that just incites a brawl. Security comes out. They try to separate them, but that ain't happening. They brawl into the crowd. They throw each other into everything. Then they go up on stage. They brawl a little bit more. Kenny tosses Swerve headfirst into the stage. You know, the Tron bit. Hits a V trigger. Attempts to hit a one-winged angel off the stage. Swerve blocks it. Hits a spear off the stage through some well-placed tables. So, that was a white-hot opening segment. Loved every second of it. Here's kind of where AEW went a little wrong. And I'm going to say this. I appreciate Tony Khan putting matches like these on Dynamite and Collision. Makes the shows feel special. This match should have been on pay-per-view. And that's a me personally thing. This has had enough build where I feel like this story could have had a nice finale at Revolution. But you know what? I am not going to look at Gimp Horse in the mouth. I will appreciate this match. And heck, who knows? Maybe we'll see a time limit draw or something, and then it'll be put on pay-per-view. Then we get a nice little card rundown. Before that, we get a Kyle Fletcher interview, where Don Callis actually starts off saying, like, oh, the pressure's on Tommaso Ciampa. Fletcher's going to be great. So Fletcher interrupts saying, tonight I am going to beat Ciampa. I live for stuff like this. I'm going to get my win, my title back, and then I'm going to go to Australia where I'm going to get my hero's welcome. But Don puts his hand on Don Callis' shoulder. I want to do this on my own. So Callis, with a little smile ear to ear, saying, I thank you for the day off. I'm going to go sit on commentary and enjoy the show. So, yeah, this is definitely going to be interesting. I don't know if we're going to see Fletcher leave the Callis family, but it's an interesting situation. So next up, we got a little trios action. We got the Death Riders. So we got Jon Moxley, Claudio Castagnoli, who has a really cool looking luchador mask, and the Bastard Pack, as they take on the Don Callis family. That's Konosuke Takeshita, the Walking Weapon Josh Alexander, and the big man Mark Davis. And this match was a little weird to start it off, but eventually it did. It really took off. Like, this match was absolutely, well, I wouldn't say amazing. It was a whole lot of fun to watch. With the win coming after Moxley locks in a Bulldog choke on Josh Alexander, but then immediately picks him up, hits a Death Rider to pick up the win for the Death Riders. He then looks to the outside, sees Konosuke Takeshita, lies down the Continental Championship on his feet, challenging him to get in the ring. So, I am not 100% sure where this Callis family versus Death Riders feud is going to go. I feel like this would have been a perfect feud for Blood and Guts. But, yeah, I guess we'll see. So next up, we got the TNT title on the line, as we got Kyle Fletcher taking on Tommaso Ciampa. And this, not only was it match of the night, I think we got our very first match of the year candidate. It is that dang good. Really good back and forth. We got a 5-minute warning call, which made me think, oh, we're going to see this on pay-per-view. But then after a big clothesline and a top rope brainbuster, your winner and now 2-time TNT champion, Kyle Fletcher. And while I'm a little disappointed Fletcher is in the world title scene, I am happy he has a title again. And I feel like he's going to do some great things. So, post-match, we get an interview with Fletcher, with him saying, I think I made it clear I was coming for the home with the TNT title. That is exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to receive the hero's welcome I deserve, because I'm going to defend my TNT title against anyone from anywhere. So this brings out Mark Briscoe, because of course it does. So Briscoe goes on the ramp. He doesn't go in the ring. And he says, wow, did I hear you correctly? You came a long way, Mr. Fletcher. You're a 2-time TNT champion. Congratulations, you deserve it. But you've got a big mouth, and we got some history. We faced each other 6 times. So I'm an impatient man. I'm going to give you advantage in your hometown. So Fletcher kind of goes off on Mark Briscoe saying, I am sick and tired of you. I say I would fight anyone, so I accept. However, Game 7 deserves to be bigger and better than our previous encounters. This shall be our finale, the rematch for the TNT title in a ladder match. So we are getting a big old ladder match this coming weekend. Should be a fun one. And while I'm a little disappointed we're still getting Fletcher versus Mark Briscoe, it's clear that this is going to be it. It's going to be a one and done. Hopefully. Although I'm not so afraid of AEW doing an interference spot or whatever. So then we get a Grand Slam card rundown, in which that's going to be a very fun Saturday. Then we get a nice little Babes of Wrath versus Mega Bad hype video, in which that was very well done. So next up, we got a little tag team action players. We got Daniel Garcia and Clark Connors taking on Orange Cassidy and Roderick Strong. Now, Cassidy looked like he was making his entrance on his own, but he went to the stage area, said, come on out with me, we're teammates. So Roderick, I guess, reluctantly came out with Orange Cassidy to his music, but he has his t-shirt inside out, or at least that's what I think is happening. So you don't see any logos or anything, it's just a black t-shirt. And at first, it does seem like Strong and Cassidy are working well together. But then, something interesting happens. As Cassidy is looking to make a tag out to Roderick Strong, Roderick jumps off of the apron and he walks to the back. At that point, Clark counters with a big old pounce. Garcia, he and Garcia tag in and out and just start beating the heck out of poor Orange Cassidy. Then as that's going on, Darby Allin comes out and just attacks Connors, taking him up into the rafters, in which, commentary pretty much said, oh, ref didn't see it, which I kind of hate that. Like, this should have been a DQ easily, but it is what it is. Cassidy missed the orange punch. I forget what Garcia was attempting. I think he was attempting the Dragon Tamer, but he gets caught in a roll-up for the win for Roderick Strong and Orange Cassidy. So, I'm going to say this. I think we're going to see Roderick Strong join the Death Riders. Like, he's kind of been reluctantly in the conglomeration, but he probably wants to be taken a bit more seriously. So either he joins the Death Riders or he's going to join the Millions and the Don Callis family. Either way, going to be interesting to see how this works out. So post-match, Timeless Toni Storm's music hits, and she and Luther are up in a luxury box. And she says, "I made peace with my life choices. You mixed... Marina, you mixed martial a-hole," which is a great line. "This Saturday, if you win... you deserve to shave my head. But I'll evolve into the most beautiful bald bastard ever. But if I win, I'll shave your head so close you'll get sold at a Spirit Halloween." A pumpkin joke. That's funny. As Tony is about to continue, out comes Wheeler Yuta on the stage. He doesn't say anything at first, because I think he forgot his lines. He got a little flustered with the crowd. But then he says, "Bring her out." So Shafir, who's has mother's milk locked in on Marina Shafir. Yuta then ends up with scissors somehow and starts cutting the hair of Mina Shirakawa. So then we start seeing Toni. She's running up down out of the luxury box, and then Garcia is holding Cassidy in the ring. So, yeah, that's definitely going to be interesting to see. That match is going to be a ton of fun, and I'm going to say this. I think we see a balled out Orange Cassidy. Like, I feel like that's the way you gotta go. Because, personally, I love Wheeler Yuta's hair. You can't do that to Toni Storm. She's got great hair that fits her gimmick. I feel like Cassidy is the only one to take the fall here. Anyway, so then we cut to a backstage promo between Callis and Andrade, with Andrade hyping up his match against Hangman Adam Page. Then we cut to him, another pre-tape, Hangman Adam Page saying, "Man, I thought it'd be Kenny Omega. Andrade, you're the best pro wrestler on the entire planet. And I'll see you down..." And then he starts speaking Spanish, which, that was impressive off the bat. And he finishes the promo saying, "See you down under, bitch." So, that match is going to be awesome. I cannot wait for it. Then we get a Jet Speed promo where they basically announce, yeah, we're not just holding these trios titles. We're going for all the gold we can. So, yeah, that's going to be interesting. Then we get this fun little matchup. It is a three-way match, three-way tag team match for the number one contenders to the AEW tag team titles. So we got the Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson. We got the Rascals being represented this time by Desmond Xavier and Myra Reed. Zachary Wentz is their manager. And then an unannounced wild card team, which I am always for stuff like this. I honestly thought this was going to be Cope and Christian. Instead, it's going to be a team that's been out, hasn't been seen for over a year. and Isaiah Cassidy and Mark Quinn. It's Private Party, baby. Oh, I have missed these two guys. And this match, whoa ho ho. While I absolutely loved the Kyle Fletcher Tommaso Ciampa match, this match was just pure absolute chaos. I loved every single second of it. But then after a BTE trigger, more bang for your buck. So your winners are them Young Bucks. Which means we are now having match 82,653 of the Young Bucks versus FTR. And look, they have some great chemistry. They've had some great matches. I am in no doubt this match is going to be awesome. I did not need to see this match again. Like, that's just me. I would have gotten the Rascals, maybe even Private Party. But it's the Bucks, so I'm a little disappointed. Anyway, so FTR comes out. They both have mics, with Dex saying, "Don't worry, we come in peace. Relax. We are the two greatest teams of this generation. And there was a time we were jealous of you. You guys are now the number 2 tag team in the world. And anywhere FTR has been, we've been successful. The only way you were successful is to create your own company." So that sets the Young Bucks off. They go for a couple of super kicks. FTR blocks it. Actually, no, they hit the super kicks. The Bucks then take the titles, roll out of the ring where Stokely Hathaway is, and he's still in his wheelchair. So the Young Bucks kind of look back at him. Looks like they're about to hit him with the super kick, but they stop short when they hand Stoke the tag team titles. So I'm not sure which way this is going to go, but I do feel like we're in for a title change. Then we get a nice little voiceover video for the Will Ospreay return trailer, which, get better soon, Mr. Ospreay. Miss seeing you on my TV. Then we get an MJF Brody King hype video, which was really, really good. But no sign of the Ice Chance, which, if you were online yesterday or the past week or so, you pretty much know what's going down. Basically, there was an F-Ice chant on the main event from last week, which was King and MJF, which led to people speculating that was why Brody wasn't on Dynamite on Wednesday. However, that has been pretty much debunked, as apparently he was there, but he was not scheduled to be on TV, which, fine by me. And this last matchup, oh boy, our main event of the evening. It is for the AEW Women's title, and it's a strap match. And I am so happy it is not the touch 4 corners strap match. I hate that stipulation as much as I hate the escape the cage match rule. So we got Chris Statlander defending against Thekla. And this was a very, very entertaining match. This felt kind of in lieu of the dog collar match between MJF and CM Punk. And yeah, they just threw pretty much big old haymakers at one another. At one point, we get the Sisters of Sin coming out after a big old pile driver by Statlander. Stat starts to fight him off, but Thekla with a big spear Thekla then ties Statlander up with the strap, hits the curb stomp, and picks up the win and wins the title. And I'm gonna say this felt a little bit random. Like the last time these two fought, Statlander won, which makes me think this match is gonna happen again at Revolution, in which Statlander might get her title back. Honestly, I'm not sure. This thing could go a whole bunch of ways, and I'm kind of here for it. So post-match, the Triangle of Madness pretty much put boots to asses for Statlander, and apparently Statlander's usual backup, the Babes of Wrath, were already in Australia, which is interesting. But instead, making the save is Jamie Hayter and Alex Windsor of the new team of the Ballin' Birds making the save. So, at some point, we're going to see these three in trios action, which, yeah, I'm definitely here for. We'll see what happens in the near future. So, that's it for Dynamite. I'm going to say highly recommend the Tommaso Ciampa Kyle Fletcher match. I'm also going to say recommended is the three-way tag title number one contenders match. And I will say, if you really feel like it, you can check out the main event as well. Overall, a very, very good episode of Dynamite. Very well rounded in terms of wrestling and promos. And also some really interesting moments that we should all keep our eye on. So, that'll do it for me. I hope you guys absolutely enjoyed. Coming on Monday will be my review for TNA Impact. And I will try my absolute best to take notes for it. For AEW Grand Slam Australia. That's going to be Saturday. So, hopefully you guys check that out when that comes out. Till next time, happy wrestling, everybody. Peace.